What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video I'm going to show you the 3 steps to writing catchy bass lines. And even if you have no experience, by the end of this video you'll be able to write a bass line just like this. Before we jump in, I'm giving away 10,000 royalty-free melodies. Comment down below melody mastery. I select one winner every Friday. Now, the way I created that bass line was modeling it off a great chord progression. A minor, D minor, F, and G was the chord progression I chose. Let me record it in quickly. Let me quantize quick, make them all the same length. And this video is not on chord progressions. I want to get straight to the bass lines, but we have other videos on how I created these chords down below in the description. The first step, like I said, model it off a great chord progression. I'll bring this down here, and what I'm going to do is delete all the top notes except for the bottom one and make them all the same velocity. So now if you listen, and the second step to writing catchy, bouncy bass lines is to use octave jumping. So all you have to do is take the note here, make it shorter. You can bring it up 12 semitones to the other A. And again, this is an A note, so if you listen, and we can bring it back down here. Here you go. And you can do the same thing here. Keep the same pattern with the D. And bring it here to the line, so it's on the line, and bring it back down. Here you go. And the F and the G, we can do the same exact thing. Again, it's just bringing it up 12 semitones. You see the plus 12 right there? It's the same note. And we'll bring it back down. Octave jumping, very, very simple. Common melody trick as well. Let's listen in. Now what you can also do is flip it. So you can make this one up top and make this one down below. And I'm using a shortcut here just to octave jump quickly. Here you go. Already we have a nice groove going on. So what I want to do next is I want to show you the power octave chord. This is the third step in making catchy bass lines, and I have one more secret one for you that I'm going to tell you after. So what I can do is if I bring this down, I can use a chord strategy here. So basically all you do is you bring it up 7 notes or 6 notes in between. You can count 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you could basically go like this. You can bring this note up. And the reason why is it's still part of the A minor chord. So we're using a power octave chord. And there's a chord guide down below to download all the chord strategies. And I'm gonna come back to the E here. So if you listen in, again, if I have this note right here, the D, I can zoom in. If we zoom in, 1 note in between, 2 note in between, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes. And the best way to look at it is if you pull up a keyboard here, you could look, this is my D, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there you go. It's a little harder to see when you have it down here, unless you're looking at these notes. Now that's like a lot of notes, so we need a little bit of space in between this. When you look at your chord progression here, and you see all these notes, you may be like, wow, it's a lot of notes going on. In the A minor chord, there's only 3 notes, A, C, and E. And in the D minor chord next to it, there's D, F, and A. Whenever we have a bass line and we look ahead to the next chord, I look at it in sections. This is a section right here. This is a section because we look at it with the chord. So if you see the chords changing, that's a section. That's how I look at it, right? Very simply. So right before I go on to the next section, I want to include a note from the next chord. So if I'm playing an A minor chord in my bass line, I can really use A, C, and E, but we're only using A and E in this example. If I look ahead to the D minor chord, D, F, and A, I'm going to include a quick note from that chord right before I play it. So to show you the example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add an F note right here, right before we hit the next one. So let's listen to this now. And now there's a lot of notes bouncing up and down here, and I don't like that too much. Let's listen to this now. Versus if I mute this note. Now you may say that's better, but I like the little quick F right before it, and I'm taking it from the chord in this section. Again, if I look here, A minor chord right here, D minor chord. The D minor chord, I take the F and I put it right here in my bass line. Now, if I record in the bass line that I played for you guys earlier that I wrote, let me just record it in very quickly. Here we go. Let me quantize it very quickly, make the velocities the same. All I'm doing is really playing the A, and then right before I have some quick notes. All I'm doing is using the 3 tips I told you. I'm octave jumping, I'm using the power octave jump, and then I have that borrowed note right before the next one. Because if you look here, these are just A's and going to the E. So we have a bunch of D notes, and then we have an A. So the power octave chord, like I showed you earlier, I made it real quick. It's D, A, and D. And you can look at it as, whoops, there's 6 notes in between these notes and 4 notes in between these notes right here. All I'm doing is taking this note and jumping it down an octave. Bassline and octave jumping is all you have to do to make a catchy bassline. Now, when you want to experiment with your rhythm here, because that's a very important part of the basslines, what I normally like to do is I'll take the notes, I'll play them on the piano because I have a lot of intuition with playing piano, and you should all learn how to play piano. In fact, I have other videos on the channel and a course that you can find in the description box below that will teach you piano. I'll take all these notes here and I'll play like this. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's so many notes. What I'll do is I'll delete some and just test it out and see what I like. And maybe I keep these notes consistent right here. So I like this rhythmic pattern. And then I could take this pattern, I could bring it here. I go here, and this is an F chord, so I mirror that over, and I look here, and I copy, I make this F notes. Here you go. And then maybe here I make this the G, this rhythm. So basically I'm using rhythmic repetition. It's another strategy that I talk about in my melody videos. This one right here is like part A. This is part A2. This one right here is part B. This is part B2. And we play it all together, and you can listen in again. Now off of this, I octave jump. I octave jump. I'll drop this one down. And I'm using a shortcut to octave jump. Right? It's just that simple, guys. So again, remember this. Whenever you're creating these bass lines, you want a chord progression to model off of. Now, if you get the MIDI pack down below, you'll have thousands of chord progressions that you can go off of. You can literally just delete these notes, and boom, you have your bass line. It's that simple. And there you go. You have your bass line. So I hope that helps you. Make sure you go down below, comment Melody Mastery, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And I want to help you guys out. So let me know what else you'd like to learn. So that's going to conclude this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And yeah, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the bass line.